Hey, are you struggling to sound more natural when you're either speaking or using English? Are you using contractions? Are you using contractions correctly? If you're not sure, stick around because after the intro, I'm going to get into this.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Mr. Finn here. I'm an American English teacher who's been living out here in Brazil for the last 11 years and teaching English inside and outside the classroom for about 10 years. And I'm here once again to do my best to make you better. And today, I want to talk about contractions. But first, how about a little trivia? Do you know the difference between insure and ensure? If you're not sure, stick around to the end of the video where I'll give you the answer. Now, let's get into this. Contractions. How important are they? They are very important. Because Americans, British, Australian, Canadians, natives to the English language will use them all the time. The only time you see a native English speaker not using contractions if they are speaking formally, that is for a presentation or a speech, or if they want to make themselves clear about something. Otherwise, you're going to often see a native using contractions. Now, what is a contraction? Well, simply a contraction is we're putting two words together and you're linking these words with an apostrophe. All right? And when you're linking the second word with the first word, that second word will be abbreviated or shortened. All right? Okay, so the contractions are the verb to be. So you have the apostrophe M, apostrophe RE, and the apostrophe S. You have the negative, the apostrophe NT. You have the apostrophe LL for will. You have the apostrophe D. And you have the apostrophe VE. Okay? So these are the most common contractions, right? LL we know is will. VE, I hope you know, is have. And the D is had or would. Now, let me get into this. Some of these contractions, well, I say all of them are really simple, but I think the two contractions that cause the most confusion is the apostrophe S and the apostrophe D. Why, you may ask? Well, the apostrophe S can have three separate meanings. First, the apostrophe S for possessive, right? Mr. Finn's YouTube channel, Mr. Finn's lesson. The apostrophe S as the verb to be, right? Mr. Finn's really good. Or the apostrophe S as the contraction for has. Like Mr. Finn's gone away. Or Mr. Finn's been to America. All right? You can ask yourself, well, hey, Mr. Finn, how am I going to know the difference between these three? Well, the simplest way is separate the contraction. Separate it, because context is key. And if you separate the contraction, you should know. So for example, if I say Mr. Finn's YouTube channel, I can't say Mr. Finn is a YouTube channel. I can't say Mr. Finn has YouTube channel. I can't say Mr. Finn has a YouTube channel, but I didn't say that. I said Mr. Finn's YouTube channel. So that apostrophe S makes it possessive. If you can separate and say, oh, okay, Mr. Finn's really cool. Mr. Finn is really cool. You see? It's not possessive, nor Mr. Finn has really cool. And Mr. Finn's been to America. You see? That is the perfect tense. Mr. Finn has been to America. So that's the key. And it can be confusing. Oh, and I forgot another one. The apostrophe S can be us for like let's go, let's eat. Let's see. It's let us go. Let us eat. Let us see. You see? So I almost forgot. There's not only three, but there are four different words that are contracted into an apostrophe S. Okay? Now, what else did I say? The apostrophe D is confusing. Why? Well, because it could be either had or would. Like, she'd better behave. She had better behave. Okay? Or she'd been there before. He'd been there before. He had been there. That's the past perfect tense. Are we okay? Or would. I'd like to go. She'd like to go. We'd like to see you. We would like to see you. She would like to go. All right? So just like the apostrophe S, you're going to know the difference between those apostrophe Ds if you separate the words. Separate the words, look at the context, and that's how you're going to know. Otherwise, you can't get confused. All right? Now, two more things I want to explain that are quite important. One is a common mistake that natives of the language make all the time. They don't make it speaking, but they often make it when it comes to writing or typing it out. And I've caught my own family members doing this mistake, and they get kind of irritated with me. Oh, Mr. Finn. Oh, Mr. Finn. Stop correcting me, Mr. Finn. And which one is that? It's the apostrophe VE. Have. Now, this apostrophe VE, or when you use have as a contraction, it could be a number of different cases. Most commonly for possession, I've got. You see, we use have as a possession, but I have got is almost never used like that. If you're going to use have got, you're going to contract the have. I've got the time. I've got the patience. I've got the experience. Okay? And another common way or a common use of contraction, this have, is in the perfect tense. All right? I've been there. I've done that. We've gone here. We've seen this. I have explained the perfect tense. If you check out this card, I'll put here in the corner. And you're also going to use this when hypotheticals. I could have gone. I could have been there. We would have. We should have. And this is most often when people make the mistake, even natives. I have seen it many times. They say, could have gone or could have been hurt. And they always say could of, because this of has the V sound. Could of, right? So of is a preposition. Could of is a contraction. Could have, not could of. And once again, I've seen people do this, or not do this. I've seen people make this mistake many times. So be careful. Be careful. How do you know you separate it? And could have doesn't exist. Okay? It doesn't exist. Okay? Now, when you're using contractions as a response to somebody, you can never, pay attention to what I'm saying, you can never use a contraction for a positive answer. Like, will you go? And someone says, I'll. It's wrong. Say, I will. The only times you could use a contraction for a short answer is when it's negative. All right? So, I won't. I can't. Okay? That's it. You can't do it like that. Like I'll give you the verb to be. Right? Are you okay? I'm. It sounds weird. Are you okay? I am. That's okay. But if it's negative, no, I'm not. Is she okay? She's. She is. She okay? No, she isn't. Now that's okay. Or she's not. Right? Speaking about the not, right? Speaking about the verb to be and not, I hope you understand when you use this contraction, you can either contract the verb to be with the pronoun, she's not, he's not, or you can contract the verb to be with the not, she isn't, he isn't. All right? So you have two choices. The only one you don't have two choices with is I'm not. You can't say I amped. That doesn't exist. All right, guys? All right, good. So I hope that was clear. I hope you guys understood that. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave a comment below. If you have a request of a video you would like me to make, leave a comment below. I'd be happy to do it. All right? Now, Mr. Finn's Trivia. Answers. What is the difference between insure and ensure? Simple. To insure is to give security. You insure it, right? To insure, you're giving assurance. You are making certain, you're making sure about something, right? So I ensure that this is going to happen because I've done everything possible. I insure it. I insure it. It's secured. It's protected. Does that make sense? So insure has to do with protecting, security, and ensure has to do with making certain. All right, guys? Great. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to subscribe here and press that bell for notifications so you're notified of new videos. I enjoy it. I love being here. I'm always trying to do my best to make you better. Don't forget to get out there and practice English. Let me tell you something. Practice makes perfect. Mistakes are part of the process. I'm Mr. Finn, and I'll catch you in the next video.